Hello, dear friends. I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Baseball Legends. Tony Fernandez was not just a baseball player. He was a true masterpiece in motion, whose talent, discipline, and passion for the game won fans all around the world. Born in San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic, his journey began humbly but quickly revealed a natural talent that would make him shine in the major leagues. From his earliest appearances on the field to becoming a key player for the Toronto Blue Jays, Tony showed that excellence and consistency are not just the result of talent, but of relentless dedication. Throughout his career, Fernández stood out especially for his impeccable defense and baseball IQ, earning 4 consecutive Gold Gloves that attest to his mastery as a shortstop. But he impressed not only on defense. His ability to maintain a solid batting average and shine in clutch moments made him a complete player, admired by teammates, opponents, and fans alike. His versatility to also play other positions such as second and third base demonstrated his tireless willingness to contribute to the team wherever he was needed. Watch this video until the end and tell us, which moment from Tony Fernandez's career impacted you the most? Was it his incredible defense that earned him 4 straight Gold Gloves, his decisive role in the 1993 World Series championship, or perhaps his versatility on the field that made him such a complete player? Leave your comment below, share your stories and opinions, and together let's celebrate the life and legacy of this great baseball legend. However, Tony's story goes far beyond numbers and trophies. His deep faith and exemplary conduct off the field made him a true example of character and leadership, earning lasting respect and admiration. And even after his premature death in 2020, the legacy he left in the baseball world lives on, inspiring new generations to pursue not only technical excellence, but also the humility and inner strength that defined his life. Get ready to deeply discover the fascinating story of Tony Fernandez, a legend who deserves to be celebrated in all his greatness. Tony Fernandez was born on June 30th, 1962, in San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic, a small city but known as a true baseball talent factory. Amid modest economic conditions, Tony grew up facing the typical challenges of many Dominican children of the time. His passion for the game emerged early, when he was just a boy running through the dusty streets of his neighborhood. Without access to proper equipment, he improvised bats from pieces of wood, balls from rolled-up socks, and gloves made out of cardboard. This creativity was common in his community. But what quickly caught attention was the special way Tony mastered the game, even under the most rudimentary conditions. While many kids played baseball just for fun, Tony showed instinctive control and coordination beyond his years. His natural talent was evident. He had quick reflexes, excellent body control, and a rare dedication for someone so young. It didn't take long for him to start standing out in local tournaments, competing against older boys and still being the best player on the field. His demeanor was calm, humble, and disciplined, traits that would define his personality throughout his career. Although life around him was marked by hardship, Tony saw baseball not just as an escape, but as a possible bridge to a better future. San Pedro de Macorís was already known for producing talented players, which helped attract American scouts searching for new prospects. During one of these visits, Tony was discovered by Epi Guerrero, a legendary Dominican scout with a sharp eye for raw talent. Guerrero saw in Tony not just a good player, but a potential future star. His glove skills, graceful movements in the infield, and game intelligence immediately caught attention. Soon, Tony Fernandez was signed as an amateur by the Toronto Blue Jays, beginning his professional baseball journey. His signing was a milestone not only for him and his family, but also for his community, which saw in his achievement a symbol of hope and overcoming obstacles. This humble beginning shaped Tony, both as a man and as an athlete. Throughout his career, he carried with him the memory of where he came from and the values learned on the simple streets of his hometown. Resilience, discipline, and respect for teammates and the game were fruits of a childhood without luxuries, but rich in life lessons. Tony never forgot his roots, and even after reaching stardom in Major League Baseball, he remained the boy from San Pedro who loved playing baseball with his whole heart. This connection to his origins was an essential part of his charisma and the way he captivated fans, teammates, and opponents, leaving a legacy that went far beyond statistics. Tony Fernández made his Major League Baseball debut in 1983 with the Toronto Blue Jays after spending several years developing his skills in the minor leagues. From the start, it was clear he was not just another Dominican prospect. His presence on the field caught attention not by flamboyance, but by the efficiency, intelligence, and elegance with which he moved at shortstop. Even at a young age, Tony showed impressive tactical maturity, reading plays with precision and positioning himself with refined instinct. His quick reflexes and smooth movements made his defense one of the most reliable in the league, establishing a solid foundation for his rise in professional baseball. In his first years with the Blue Jays, Fernández earned a spot on a team still seeking to establish itself in the American League. His work ethic and commitment to the team were crucial to gaining the trust of coaches and teammates. Gradually, he became the unquestioned starter at shortstop, not only for his defensive skills, but also for his growing contributions at the plate. Although not a power hitter, Tony was consistent and timely, with a refined bat control that allowed him to put the ball in play frequently and intelligently. He was the type of player who did the small things perfectly, sacrificing when needed, stealing bases, and forcing defensive errors. Each season, his importance to the Toronto Blue Jays grew. Fernández helped solidify the team's infield, with a calm and reliable presence while growing as a leader in the clubhouse. His ability to turn difficult plays into routine ones made him a highlight in sports recaps, but also a nightmare for opposing offenses. Tony was respected throughout the league for his efficiency, rarely making mental or technical errors. In an era with many shortstops focused solely on defense or offense, he stood out as one of the few who mastered both areas with balance and consistency. Fernández quickly won the hearts of Canadian fans as well. In Toronto, where baseball was growing in popularity, he became one of the faces of the franchise. It was common to see him interacting with fans, always smiling, approachable, and humble. This charisma off the field reflected how he behaved on it, always with respect, intensity, and love for the game. His presence helped bring the Blue Jays closer to the public, especially the growing Latino community in Canada, who saw in Tony a genuine idol, a man who represented both sporting excellence and cultural pride. Tony Fernández's consistent performance did not go unnoticed by other teams and experts. He became recognized as one of MLB's best defensive shortstops, ranking among the leaders in assists and spectacular plays year after year. Throughout the 1980s, he collected awards and All-Star Game selections, solidifying his elite reputation. But the most impressive aspect was his longevity. Tony was not a fleeting star, but a lasting pillar, performing at a high level with incredible regularity, avoiding serious injuries, and consistently delivering solid results. Therefore, his debut with the Blue Jays was much more than just a transition to the MLB. It was the start of a journey marked by excellence, loyalty, and constant contribution to the team's success. Tony Fernández would become a key piece in the team's winning campaigns years later, but even in those early moments, he already showed he had something special. His combination of talent, discipline, and humility paved a brilliant path, making him not only one of the greatest players in Blue Jays history, but also a role model for future generations of Latino athletes and baseball fans worldwide. Between 1986 and 1989, Tony Fernandez cemented his reputation as one of Major League Baseball's best defenders by winning 4 consecutive Gold Glove awards at shortstop. These awards were not just formalities. They were clear recognition of extraordinary defensive skill. What set Fernandez apart was the way he combined range, agility, and intelligence on every play. He covered a wide area of the field, often making seemingly impossible catches with a natural ease that left fans and commentators in awe. His game reading and positioning were so precise that he appeared to anticipate every play seconds in advance. That Fernandez's defensive style was notable not only for its efficiency, but also for its aesthetics. His movements were smooth, almost choreographed, and he executed difficult plays with rare elegance. It was not uncommon to see him scoop ground balls with one hand, make throws on the run, or complete double plays with extreme speed and precision. His refined mechanics stood out even in an era rich with defensive infield talent, making his achievements even more impressive. Opposing coaches knew that any ball hit his way had a high chance of resulting in an out, an invaluable defensive advantage for the Blue Jays during those years. That Tony's impact on defense went beyond statistics. He gave confidence to the rest of the infield and the pitcher, helping transform the Blue Jays' defensive unit into one of the American League's most solid. His silent leadership and consistency on the field allowed the team to play with greater confidence, knowing the left side of the infield was under absolute control. Many teammates cited Tony as a defensive anchor, someone who inspired trust in everyone around him without needing to say much. His work ethic and dedication to fundamentals also set an example for younger players, who saw him as a model of excellence to follow. During those 4 award-winning years, Tony Fernandez redefined the standard for what was expected of a defensive shortstop. He was not just a good defender. He was an artist on the field, a master of his position. His streak of Gold Gloves during that period was an undeniable validation of his defensive dominance and a reflection of his high-level consistency. Even after the 1980s ended, the image of Tony sliding across the dirt, snagging impossible balls, and making perfect throws remained a benchmark for elite defense. His legacy as one of the great defensive shortstops in MLB history lives on today. Although Tony Fernandez was not known for his power at the plate, his offensive consistency was one of the pillars of his long and respected MLB career. He was the type of player who maintained a solid batting average year after year, often above .280, especially notable for a shortstop during an era when defense was often prioritized over offense. His approach at the plate was disciplined and technical. Tony didn't try to do more than necessary. He focused on contact, hitting to the opposite fields, and putting the ball in play intelligently, which helped keep rallies alive and frequently pressured opposing defenses. This style of play earned him over 2,200 career hits and the respect of coaches and teammates for his reliability in the lineup. One of the most striking aspects of Tony Fernandez's offensive game was his performance in clutch situations. He was a clutch hitter, someone who seemed to rise to the occasion in the most pressured moments. Whether with runners in scoring position or late in the season and playoffs, Tony often delivered key hits that changed the course of games. His calmness at the plate contrasted with the tension of the moment. He seemed immune to nerves, maintaining the same composure to pick his pitches and execute his compact, precise swing. This profile made him a valuable asset for any competitive lineup, especially on the teams he played for during the 1990s when his experience turned into offensive leadership. Moreover, Fernandez was a specialist at hitting ground balls, using his speed and intelligence to turn simple contact into valid hits. He mastered what's called small ball, contributing bunts, advancing bases, and situational hitting with great skill. Although he didn't accumulate home runs, he continuously added value to the lineup by wearing down pitchers and creating opportunities for his teammates. His career serves as a reminder that consistency, intelligence, and discipline at the plate are just as valuable as raw power. Tony Fernández proved that even without the spotlight of a traditional slugger, it is possible to build a brilliant and memorable offensive career based on efficiency and commitment to the fundamentals. Tony Fernández left an indelible mark on the history of the Toronto Blue Jays. From the beginning of his MLB career, it was clear he would be a central figure in the development of the young Canadian franchise. Throughout the 1980s, as the Blue Jays established themselves as a competitive team in the American League, Fernández emerged as one of the pillars of that rise. His exceptional talent as a defensive shortstop, combined with a steady and reliable presence at the plate, made him a reference within the club. He not only helped the team achieve its first years of relevance, but also became a symbol of stability and excellence within the organization. The relationship between Tony Fernández and the Blue Jays went beyond the ordinary. He had no less than 4 separate stints with the club, a rare feat that shows how much the franchise valued his contribution. Few players in MLB history have had so many comings and goings with the same team, and this only reinforces the mutual appreciation between player and organization. Whether as a promising young player in the early 80s, an experienced veteran in the 90s, or a mentor at the end of his career, Tony always found his way back to Toronto. Each return was seen as a reunion between idol and fans, and his presence in the clubhouse always brought confidence to the team. During his first stint from 1983 to 1990, Tony was an essential force in the infield and helped the Blue Jays win their first Eastern Division title in 1985. His spectacular defense and calm leadership influenced a generation of players and contributed to the team's competitive identity. Even after being traded to the San Diego Padres, Tony's impact remained alive in the club, so much so that he returned in 1993, the year the Blue Jays won their second World Series, with Fernández contributing key performances in the postseason. His clutch hitting in the American League Championship Series and veteran presence were crucial to sealing the championship. Tony would have 2 more stints with the team, in 1998 and again in 2001, near the end of his career. Even with less prominence on the field, his symbolic and emotional importance to Toronto's fans was immense. He was seen as a true ambassador for the Blue Jays, someone who represented the franchise's values both on and off the field. His longevity, talent, and commitment made him one of the greatest names in the team's history. To this day, Tony Fernández is remembered as one of the most beloved and respected faces to ever wear a Blue Jays uniform. The 1993 season was an unforgettable high point in Tony Fernández's career, marked by a cinematic comeback story. After being traded to the New York Mets and later playing for the San Diego Padres, Tony found his way back to the Toronto Blue Jays at the most crucial moment of the season. His return was met with enthusiasm from both fans and coaching staff, who recognized him as an experienced, reliable player extremely valuable for the decisive moments ahead. More than just a symbolic return, Fernández's comeback proved strategic. He provided defensive stability in the infield and a vital veteran presence in the playoffs. In the 1993 postseason, Tony shone with the coolness and talent that characterized him. During the American League Championship Series, ALCS, against the Chicago White Sox, he had important contributions both at the plate and in the field. But it was in the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies that he cemented his role as the silent hero of the title. With timely hits, solid defensive plays, and a consistently focused attitude, Fernández was a vital cog in a star-studded lineup. He represented the soul of the team, a tireless worker who, even without the spotlight of bigger names, made a difference in every play with discretion and precision. Winning the 1993 World Series was a dream come true for Tony Fernández. Not just for the trophy, but for the emotional context of returning to the team that had discovered him. His participation in that championship confirmed his historic importance to the franchise and added an even richer layer to his legacy. The Blue Jays' back-to-back championship will never be told without mentioning Tony's contribution, proving once again that his combination of talent, resilience, and loyalty was irreplaceable. For Canadian fans, seeing him raise the trophy wearing Toronto's jersey was more than a sports celebration. It was recognition of an idol who, despite the twists in his career, always came home when he was most needed. Tony Fernández's 5 All-Star Game selections throughout his career represent far more than simple statistics. They confirm the respect he earned among colleagues, coaches, and MLB fans. Playing a demanding position like shortstop, where a combination of defensive and offensive skills is rare, Tony stood out for his elegance, game intelligence, and consistency. His first All-Star Game appearance in 1986 was a milestone for the Blue Jays and the Dominican Republic, revealing to the world a complete player whose contribution transcended numbers and entered the realm of intangibles: quiet leadership, professional ethics, and commitment to the game. Over the years, each new All-Star call-up reinforced his place among baseball's elite. Even playing in a Canadian market, traditionally less valued by the American media, Fernández remained prominent, recognized for his excellence year after year. His playing style, without showiness but full of efficiency, made him a favorite among those who truly understood the sport. Opposing players and coaches admired him not only for his talent, but for the humility and respect with which he approached each game. Behind the scenes at the All-Star Game, it was common to see him greeted with affection and reverence, clear proof of his reputation in the sports world. These All-Star appearances also served as windows for the general public to get to know one of the most underrated shortstops of the modern era. In an event filled with media stars and big offensive names, Tony Fernández captured the attention of those who appreciated a clean, technical, and precise game. He represented Latino pride, Caribbean talent, and the professionalism of a player who, even under the bright lights, gave the same effort he did when playing barefoot on the streets of San Pedro de Macorís. His moments at the All-Star Game not only celebrated his individual achievements, but also immortalized his presence as a symbol of consistency, merit, and respect within MLB. Throughout his career, Tony Fernández stood out not only as an exceptional shortstop, but also for the versatility he displayed on the field, an attribute few players maintain with such consistency and quality. While his peak performance was at shortstop, where he shined due to his range, agility, and defensive intelligence, Fernández proved capable of adapting and contributing significantly in other infield positions. Especially in the later stages of his career, he competently played both third base and second base, increasing his value to the teams he played for and extending his relevance in the MLB landscape. The ability to transition between such distinct positions requires not only specific technical skills, but also a deep understanding of the game and the mental willingness to take on new challenges. Tony did this with his characteristic grace, maintaining the defensive standard that made him reliable in any role. His experience as a shortstop provided a solid foundation that eased his adaptation to third and second base, where quick reflexes, precise throws, and tactical positioning are equally essential. Furthermore, his versatility allowed coaches greater flexibility to build competitive rosters, knowing they could count on a player who would not compromise defense in any of those positions, more than just occupying different spots on the field. Tony Fernández demonstrated admirable commitment to every new role assigned to him. Despite career changes and natural challenges, he maintained quality and effort, never allowing versatility to be seen as a mere stopgap, but rather as an extension of his excellence as a complete player. This characteristic set him apart and was fundamental to prolonging his career and keeping it relevant in an increasingly competitive sport. His example of adaptation and professionalism continues to inspire players today, showing that versatility is a virtue that can define an athlete's longevity and legacy. Tony Fernández was widely recognized not only for his skills on the field, but also for the deep Christian faith that guided his personal life and shaped his character. For him, spirituality was a fundamental foundation that sustained him through the challenges of a professional career and life's hardships. His sincere belief helped him maintain emotional balance and inner strength, reflecting a calm confidence that inspired teammates, fans, and everyone around him. Fernández never hesitated to publicly express his faith, demonstrating that success in sports results not only from talent, but also from solid values and spiritual principles. Additionally, his personal life was marked by genuine commitment to family, friends, and community, always guided by exemplary ethics. Tony sought to be a positive example, acting with humility, respect, and generosity, qualities that reinforced his image as an upright man both inside and outside stadiums. He understood that true greatness goes beyond numbers and trophies, relating instead to how one lives and positively influences the lives of others. This attitude made him admired not only as an athlete, but also as a person of integrity, worthy of respect and admiration. Fernández's faith also manifested in his engagement with social projects and his constant desire to help others find hope and strength as he did. He saw sports as a platform to convey messages of love, perseverance, and solidarity, aiming to inspire young athletes and everyday people to face their battles with courage and determination. In this way, Tony Fernández built a legacy that goes far beyond the four lines of the baseball field, remembered as an example of living faith and a character that remains an inspiration to all who knew him. Tony Fernández left a profound and lasting legacy in the baseball world, recognized as one of the greatest Dominican players of all time. His exemplary career, marked by a rare combination of talent, consistency, and defensive elegance, raised the standard for future generations of athletes from the Dominican Republic and beyond. Tony was not just a skilled player, he embodied professionalism and dedication, qualities that earned him the respect of teammates, opponents, and fans worldwide. His influence went beyond statistical numbers, as he was also admired for his humble attitude and the way he conducted both his career and personal life. Fernández's premature death in 2020 at the age of 57 was a shock to the baseball community and all who knew him. Diagnosed with complications related to COVID-19, his passing brought sadness and mourning, but also a celebration of the life and career of an athlete who inspired so many. In his final moments, the love shown by family, friends, and fans reflected the human impact Tony had off the field, beyond the brilliance he always showed on it. His untimely loss did not erase his achievements or legacy. On the contrary, it brought even greater reverence and admiration to his story. Tony Fernández's legacy remains alive not only in his statistics or trophies, but in the memory of those who witnessed his class and dedication. His journey is an example of how perseverance, passion, and humility can build a memorable and inspiring career. As one of the pillars of Dominican baseball, Tony paved the way for many players who came after him and left an indelible mark on the sport's history. He will always be remembered as a symbol of excellence, character, and love for the game, a true legend whose memory will continue to inspire fans and athletes for generations. Tony Fernández was not just a baseball player. He was a living example of how dedication, humility, and passion for the sport can transform a career and inspire generations. From his humble beginnings in the Dominican Republic to shining in the biggest leagues in the world, Tony showed that Talent must be accompanied by hard work and strong character to achieve true greatness. His journey reminds us that success is not only measured by numbers, but also by the positive influence an athlete can have both on and off the field. The consistency Fernández demonstrated throughout his career, both at the plate and in the field, reveals a rare professionalism. He wasn't satisfied with being just a good player. He always pursued excellence in every aspect of the game. This constant quest for perfection made him a key piece in teams that grew and won great titles, such as the Toronto Blue Jays. Beyond statistics, his contribution was felt in the impact he had on the team's culture and the spirit of his teammates. His versatility on the field reflects not only his athletic ability, but also his intelligence and humility to adapt to the team's needs. Tony never settled. He accepted challenges, played multiple positions, and maintained quality, earning respect from coaches, teammates, and opponents alike. This ability to reinvent himself is a valuable lesson for everyone, inside and outside sports. Flexibility and commitment are essential to staying relevant and achieving lasting success. Another point worth highlighting is the deep faith and personal values Fernández carried with him. In a world often marked by pressure and success at any cost, he stayed true to his beliefs and acted as a model of ethical conduct. His behavior off the field, characterized by respect and humility, complemented his image as an athlete and contributed to his legacy as a human being. He showed that the true champion is one who inspires not only through performance, but through integrity. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted every time new content is uploaded. Also, don't forget to leave your comment and share with your friends. Tony Fernández's premature death in 2020 was a painful loss for the baseball world and all who admired him. However, his legacy remains alive and stronger than ever. He left an indelible mark on the sport, not only through his achievements, but through the example of life he offered. For fans, teammates, and future athletes, Tony is a powerful reminder that true success is built on solid foundations of character, passion, and perseverance. Finally, as we reflect on the life and career of Tony Fernández, we are invited to appreciate not only the stars who shine brightly for a moment, but those who keep a steady, firm, and inspiring light. Tony was that light for many, a true icon of the Dominican Republic and world baseball. May his story continue to motivate young players and fans to dream, fight, and honor the sport with genuine respect and love. Until the next journey, dear baseball-loving friends.